So what is the hardest thing to do in watercolor? There are a bunch of famous and profound quotes around this one idea. The hardest thing to do is to simplify. This is true in life. As humans, we tend to move from simple to complex all the time. We are prone to make life more complex rather than less. Simplicity evades us. Some have even said the hardest thing in the world is to simplify your life. This is true in life, and this idea is certainly true in art. And that is the subject of today's video. We could say it this way: the hardest thing in painting is to simplify. I have certainly found this to be true in my watercolor practice. Why is this so? Well, here is the first reason. Our eyes and our brains are designed to see and process details. Our eyes are amazing. They capture a million details in every scene. Looking at this reference image of a waterfall, bridge, and stream, we see every stone in the bridge, we see the busy array of trees in the background, and we see every rock on the shoreline, and the fine texture of moss in the foreground rocks. We see everything, but that doesn't mean we should paint everything. Here is my final painting of this same scene. If you compare them side by side, you can see how I simplified the scene radically. I hinted at a few of the stones in the bridge, but I didn't paint them all. Most of the background is a simple wash of blue into green with only a few key trees painted in for reference. The rocky shoreline is reduced to a single light line, and the moss on the foreground rocks are a subtle wash of grayish violet and green. If I had tried to capture every minute detail in this scene, it would have resulted in a busy and disjointed painting. By simplifying, I captured the essence of the scene. By simplifying, I help the viewer to focus on what really matters: the bridge, the falls, and the meandering stream. Everything else is secondary. The second reason it is hard to simplify, and I think this is even more subtle, is that as artists, we have been influenced by an unconscious bias that the purpose of painting is accuracy. We believe that to be successful, a painting must accurately reproduce the details of the subject or the scene. We look at the subject and compare it to the painting, and if it is not an accurate reproduction of the scene, we think we have failed. As a result, the more we work on a painting, the more we lean in, looking for the details in our subject, the more we then force those details into the painting. When we're done, we have a confusing mass of details that do not hold together into a pleasing composition and do not capture the essence of the subject. We've lost the essence in the midst of the details. We end up focusing on accuracy over essence. Have you ever had this experience? I certainly have. So, what should we do to overcome these tendencies? First of all, employ a viewing technique to simplify your perception of the subject. You've probably heard of these techniques. You can squint at the subject matter, thereby reducing details and emphasizing bigger value shapes. Squinting at your subject can help you simplify. You can also take a picture with your camera and apply a filter to that image that removes color or increases contrast or reduces the image into fewer value steps. This forces you to see the big value shapes of the subject, thereby removing details and promoting simplicity. Another practice that can help you develop greater simplicity in your paintings is to complete a value study painting or a sketch prior to painting your final full color painting. Before I painted my color painting of the stone bridge, I completed a monochrome value study. I reduced the scene to just 3 value zones: white, medium gray, and dark gray. This process helped me to identify the value shapes in the scene and to test my composition before beginning the final painting. This is an excellent process for those that want to learn to simplify. You are literally training your eye to focus on simple shapes instead of fine details. I encourage all my students to complete a value study before every painting. So, if simplifying our paintings is one of the hardest things to do, and I think it is, I would argue it is also one of the most rewarding skills to develop as an artist. It can result in more expressive and focused paintings that capture the real essence of your subject. If you would like to learn more about this and other important ideas for the watercolor artist, please consider my growing library of free and premium tutorials and courses on my website at studio.krisdebruine.com. I have video tutorials as well as quick guides. These are essentially a watercolor lesson in a PDF. In all of these tutorials, I demonstrate my painting process as well as letting you look inside of my thought process as I transform a complex scene like this into a simplified painting like this. Also, if you'd like to watch my YouTube videos in which I demonstrate the painting process of this stone bridge, follow the link up here. And if you know someone else who might benefit from these insights, please consider sharing this video with a friend. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Have a great day and keep on growing in watercolor.